If you want to be a finisher, a winner, obliterate, literally wipe out procrastination, dig a hole and bury it underneath, start to finish, fueling discipline, focus, and the right mindset. Welcome to our podcast. Let's dig in. Today, we want to talk about procrastination. That thing can rob and steal our time. Time is currency, time is precious. Is the one thing, if you lose, you can never recover. So it is important to safeguard time and not let it be stolen by procrastination. Looking in this past year, how much time have you lost? How much time has been lost or stolen by procrastination? By doing things that are not adding value to you, that will never bring a dent to your future. It's time to obliterate this thing and become executors, game changers. That is the only way we can make the progress that we're looking for. I know everyone has goals, visions, but you cannot achieve those visions if you are procrastinating. It's exciting to write that big goal, that big vision, but we have to be executors. Can you follow through? You can start strong, but somewhere in the journey, you lose momentum. Time is beginning to be stolen. Let's maintain the energy, the momentum, the discipline to the finish line. I'll tell you a story. A few months ago, I think around September, I was thinking and reflecting on my life, and that's when the idea of start to finish was dropped into my spirit. It was a hashtag to one of my posts, and I got so excited. I'm like, a lot of us, we struggle from finishing things. It's easy to start, but we struggle from finishing. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to record a podcast. So the target became, I'll do the first debut episode on my birthday, which was November. November came, the birthday came and went. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Okay, soon after the birthday, then that did not happen either. Then I told myself, okay, the 1st of January 2024, we'll have an episode out. The greater part of December, almost. Then on Christmas Day, I pushed myself. I said, let's get this thing recorded. Let's get this thing posted and let's get it out there. So I'm happy to say I've done it. But I had to change. I had to change my targets, my timelines, because of procrastination. Not because I didn't have the content or the time to do it. Just procrastination. And I know many of us are in that space where you've got this big idea, you've got these goals and these visions. You know you have to do this thing. But we don't get around. So I'm happy to say this is out of the way. We've started, and my hope and goal is we stay on it and continue on for as long as we can. And we have the content and everything to share, obviously. So we get to this place where we just delay things, not because we can't do those things, but we just tell ourselves, okay, let's try tomorrow. But guess what? One of the biggest changes that I had to make is to start. Start right now. You are listening to this podcast. Thank you for that. But as soon as you're done, start. Get things out there. Start doing something. Whether you're doing it right, whether it's perfect, it's not perfect, it does not matter. Just go out there and start using your time to get things done. Imagine if I had started at the time I'd set or told myself to do it, I would have accomplished so much more. The same goes in our lives. We can accomplish so much more in 3 months, and we end up accomplishing nothing in that period because of procrastination. This is why this thing need to be obliterated, need to be, we need to dig a deep, deep, deep hole and just bury it. And just bury it. Because change is imminent at this point. If you want those goals, change is imminent. Procrastination, if you want to be a finisher, procrastination has to be out of the window. Here's a definition I found of procrastination. Is the habit of unnecessarily delaying an important task, usually by focusing on less urgent, more enjoyable, and easy activities instead. So I can enjoy Netflix. I am enjoying a movie. Those things are easy. I can enjoy it. I can go out with my friends. But what about that dissertation? I stopped doing the sales calls. What about the end of the month when someone is getting a commission and you are not? So we just create a habit of doing. It's a habit. This is the key word. It's a habit, which means if as long as it's a habit, you can change it, right? You can change it and become an executor. Be known for doing something, for getting things done. You can do that right now if you want to. Let's go for the important things that are going to bring a dent in our lives. Things that are going to, when you start chiseling, you want to really make sure there's a dent. We're not talking of a huge dent, because if you make it huge, you mess up your sculpture. So you need to make sure it's big enough, right? So let's do those things that will make a difference. Become self-aware. Living in the subconscious and doing same thing over and over, which are not transforming your life, doesn't work. Become self-aware. Look around you. Take time out where you sit down and look around you and see, okay, where can I change my life? What do I need to change? And when you look, I think I'm procrastinating here. Change it. Because when you are aware of what is surrounding you, you can easily change things, right? Because seasons will come and seasons will go. But if you don't change, you remain behind. You remain behind. Just like you were young, a baby, then you grow up, you started walking, now you're a man. You can't And these are seasons that has been coming and going. 16th birthday, 20th birthday, 30th birthday, and on and on. But there are certain attitude and habits which has not made you progress. Look around you. Your friends, some of them have transitioned. Others started things and you're still procrastinating. You are intelligent enough, you are capable enough, but you decide to do mediocre things that don't get you anywhere. Two types of procrastination: productive or active procrastination. This is where you have an activity. Let's, for example, say you have a report that is due next week, Friday. You decide to delay it. It's a choice because you are aware of your surrounding. You decide to delay it for the next 2 days and start maybe after those 2 days. And you can still complete your work. So it's more like you are delaying it to do other activities and still get back to it and get it done. What is dangerous now is destructive or passive. Where now, when you get on your phone, you start scrolling social media, 2 hours, 3 hours go by. Or you watch that favorite series. Nowadays, you can stream. So you've got 15 episodes already out. Then you start going through each and every episode. Before you know it, you've spent a long time on it. I remember when 24 came out. 24 became a disruptor. 24, Jack Bauer, doing his thing, and it was an action-packed all the way. And I remember I would sit and begin to watch TikTok, 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 TikTok. Oh, it's now morning, 6 a.m. TikTok, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're still watching something that is not adding value to you. It's destroying, it's destructing. And for years, if we are not careful, we continue doing or developing certain habits of procrastinating. And if we are not careful to become self-aware, those things will continue destroying us. Create a strong interest in what you're doing. Create a strong interest in learning. Create a strong interest in exercising. That is the only way you are going to overcome procrastination. Enjoy it so much that you don't want to miss out a class. Instead of bunking class and at the end of the term, in exam time, you don't know the answers because you bunked the class. But yet, it's an important subject for you. I've seen young people failing to go to the next year of university because you failed one subject. You failed a subject which was important. Now you know it's important. Now you are delayed, you are inconvenienced. Why? Because you did not do what you were supposed to do at the time you were supposed to do it. Because you were doing things that were not adding value to you. So create a strong interest in those things that matter to you. How to create it is think about it enough, to create that interest, that excitement, that looking forward to doing, those important things, those important tasks. No matter how tedious they may be sometimes, just create that interest. Have a clear understanding of the benefits involved. When you know, if I finish my education, I can find a job. When you know, if I make my sales calls, if I do my work, at the end of the month, I'll earn more money, right? It means you have to push beyond those moments when you feel like not doing it and get it done. That will make all the difference. So, knowing that benefit, knowing that thing that you will get at the end of the year, you have set a goal. You know the goals. But what is the benefit of that goal? Okay, have you asked yourself, this goal, I need to achieve it, but what's the benefit? You want to lose weight, come summertime, you have a summer body, six pack and everything, right? So you want to buy a new car, you want a new home. All those things don't come cheap. It comes back to knowing the benefits and making sure you begin to work. Be intentional. Life is about intentionality. Everything you do should never be subconscious. You have to question your subconscious. You have to question yourself regularly. Like I said, you need to take an audit from time to time. Question your subconscious. Okay, is this working? Is it not working? Then I must change it. Be intentional about life, about doing those big goals. You have the task. I do that sometimes. So, my background is marketing and sales. That's what I do. Sometimes the goal is I have to, obviously, I need to develop business, right? To make the money. But there are things that sometimes seem so tedious and when you think about it or want to do them. In my case is I have to consistently make the calls, the sales calls. So I can set a target. I want to make 10 calls every day. These are 10 new calls every single day. But the fear of rejection, I don't do the calls. I'm supposed to do 10 calls every day. A week, I'm doing 50, and it goes on and on like that. So imagine if I'm consistent to do the work, it means there are results at the end of it. But if I decide not to do it today, I decide not to do it tomorrow, before you know it, you might end up making some calls, but you don't achieve the result. Quotations. That's something that a client says, I want a quotation today. They call you once, twice, and you don't deliver on a quotation. Something that you can, because that's the job, something that I can sit down and do it quickly and send it out. I procrastinate. And sometimes when you look at it, what exactly are you doing that has made you not do that the most important thing that you're supposed to do? Because that's always the question you need to ask yourself. Is what I'm doing important enough or less important? If it's less important, then let's go to the things that are going to the big activities that are going to make a difference. What about writing that proposal? You have all the information in your head. All you need is a couple of hours where you zero in and focus and get it out of the way. And you don't do it. It goes for months and months and you're not doing it. It means you are already affecting your life. So let's get around to do the big things. Let's forget about the easy ones. Let's do the things that are going to bring that change, that transformation in our lives. Let's take action and stop procrastination. We procrastinate personal development. Can you imagine? Personal development, something that you know is important. The most interesting thing, I've been taking a survey of myself and um, those around me. There are things that I could have done when my friends were doing them that I did not do, and now they've progressed in life, and I'm still at the same place. How painful that is, just because I procrastinated. Something that you know, this thing will make a big dent, will make a very big impact in my life. I just decide not to do it. And months later, years later, it's painful. It's painful, I tell you. Dropping out of college just because those who were disciplined enough to finish, they did their first degree or maybe a diploma and moved on to their PhD, and they're doing a doctorate. And opportunities will rise internationally, right? Oh, want a degree in this, a degree in that. They raise their hands. What about you? You can't even raise your hands because you have procrastinated and things got out of hand. It's time to be intentional. It's time to have self-awareness. It's time to just start. Making these observations will be important. Let's go on the flip side. We don't say things when they are important enough to say them. You have done something wrong at work. You don't know how to apologize. Oh, well, stuff happens. You procrastinate just saying the right words when they matter. You have wronged your wife, you have wronged your husband, your kids. You have wronged someone, but you just don't apologize. You just don't say to someone the right words, I love you. It's as simple as that. Instead, we rather leave people create their own perceptions. Trust me, you can live with someone in the same house, but they'll have their own perception about you because you decided not to say what you were supposed to say when it mattered. You procrastinated. You can live in a house, and obviously you got married because you love each other, but that word stopped existing. The exciting thing with kids, they'll tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, everywhere you turn. But the mature people can't even say it. You just like delaying it, and just, well, he knows, she knows that that I love them. But why do we have speech? To share, for people to know and hear that sound, right? That assurance. You avoid spending time with your kids. Something always come up. Oh, I'm going out with the boys. There's a work thing that I'm going to. When you come home, they are already asleep. Or the time that you are at home, you are procrastinating and watching things that are destructive instead of spending time with your loved ones. There are many ways and many places procrastination can show up in our lives. It's a question of looking. You can be a star in one thing, right? But there's somewhere where you could be lacking. Sometimes it's good to take time to look at all areas of your life. Look at all areas of your life and see, okay, where am I missing it? And then begin the corrections. You can be a star in doing your calls, in being at work, but when you come home, you suck. You can suck as a friend. Do something about it. You know, do you know that change is easy? Start right now. Right this moment. Start. If you need to start by writing things down and just taking that review, start. That's the only way we can change and replace certain bad habits with good habits. It's starting and being intentional. Then things will change. And the most exciting place is a place of realization. When you are at a place where you've realized, I've done wrong, I need to correct this. That's the most beautiful place anyone can ever be. Don't just realize it and not do anything about it. As we share this message, it's about, giving each other a wake up call to say, hey, look at this. In that realization, if you have reached to the end, thumbs up. Go and also like this podcast so that we continue reaching more people. Let's start. Let's do something today. Don't wait tomorrow. Don't wait for the next hour. Do it right now, and then change begins. In 2024, let's stop procrastinating. Let's be doers. Let's get things done. Let's get it done. So we've come to the end of this podcast. Like, share. That would be awesome. One last thing. Sit down with yourself and look at all areas and change something. We want to know about it. What is it you have been procrastinating about? What measures have you applied to begin the process of change? One thing that I've done, in this past few months is to stop spending time on social media. I've programmed myself a time where I usually would do it in the morning and at night, sometimes during the day. So I will not wake up to social media. I will wake up to my habit structure that I've created and do those things. I've changed from watching a lot of TV. I like TV. I like series. I'm one of those. But my evenings, I've reduced less of watching. I've created a time where I go to bed. Right? Those are the changes to make sure I don't procrastinate. Imagine if I sleep late, I'm not going to be energetic enough to do the things that I'm supposed to do. If I'm watching this series or being on social media, I'm not spending time with my family or utilizing that time to add value. I've started reading as well. So there's one book I would want to recommend to anyone that wants total change in their life. A book by James Clear, Atomic Habits. It's a very popular book. If you are not someone who's more on reading, there are some audios around on YouTube. Information is free on social on the internet, guys. Let's go and dig in and start changing our life for the better. Instead of losing 3 months, make use of that time. Imagine how much you can accomplish if your minute, second, hour is accounted for.